For testing the pain, use a sharp safety pin, the stick portion of the broken cotton swab, or other suitable tool. Occasionally, substitute the blunt end of the point. Ask the patient, is this sharp or dull? To prevent transmitting a bloodborne infection, discard the pin and other device safely. Do not reuse it on another person. For testing the temperature is often omitted if the pain sensation is normal. If there are sensory deficits, use two test tubes filled with the hot and cold water or a turning fork heated or cooled by burning water. Touch the skin and ask the patient to identify the hot or cold. For the proprioception test, grasp the patient's big toe, holding it by its side between your thumb and the index finger, then pull it away from the other tooth. This prevents the extraneous tactile stimuli from affecting testing. Demonstrate the up and down as you move the patient's toe clearly upward and downward. Then, with the patient's eye closed, ask the patient to say up or down when moving the last toe in a small arc. Repeat the test several times on each side if the position sense is impaired, and move proximally to test the ankle joint. In similar fashion, test position in the fingers, moving proximally if indicated to the metacarpophalangeal joint, wrist, and the elbow. In the discriminative sensations test, depends on the touch and the position sense. They are useful only when these sensations are either intact or only slightly impaired. The first one is the stereognosis. Stereognosis refers to the ability to identify an object by feeling it. Place a familiar object such as a coin, paperclip, key, pencil, cotton ball in the patient's hand and ask the patient to tell you what it is. Normally, the patient will manipulate it skillfully and identify the correctly within the 5 seconds. Asking the patient to distinguish heads from tails on a coin is a sensitive test for stereognosis. One is the number identification. If arthritis or other conditions prevent the patient from manipulating an object well enough to identify it, test the ability to identify the numbers with the blunt end of a pen or pencil. Draw a large number in a patient's palm. A normally able person can identify most such numbers. The third one is the 2 point discrimination. Using the two ends of an open paper clip or two pins, touch a finger pad in two places simultaneously. Alternate the double stimulus irregularly with a 1 point touch. Be careful not to cause pain. Find the minimal distance at which the patient can discriminate one from the 2 points, normally less than 5 mm on the finger pads. This test may be used on other parts of the body, but normal distances vary widely from body region to another. In the point localization, briefly touch a point on the patient's skin, then ask the patient to open both eyes and point to the place touched. Normally, a person can do accurately. The lesions of the sensory cortex impair the ability to localize points accurately. And in the extension, stimulate one side or simultaneously stimulate corresponding areas on both sides of the body. Ask where the patient feels your touch. Normally, both stimuli are felt. In the clonus test of the ankle, support the knee in a partially flexed position with your hand dorsiflexed and plantar flex the foot a few times while encouraging the patients to relax. Then sharply dorsiflex the foot and maintain it in dorsiflexion. Look the feel for rhythmic oscillations between the dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. Normally the ankle does not react to this stimulus. There may be a few clonic beats if the patient is tense or has exercised. The test of the abdominal reflex is by lightly but briskly stroking each side of the abdomen. Above is the T8, T9, T10 and the below is T10, T11 and T12. Use a key, the wooden end of the cotton tipped applicator or a tongue blade twisted the split longitudinally. In the plantar response test, with a key or the wooden end of an applicator stick, stroke the lateral aspect of the sole from the heel to the ball of the foot. Curving medially across the ball, use the lightest stimulus needed to provoke a response, but increase firmness if necessary. Closely observe the movement of the big toe, normally plantar flexion. In the anal reflex, use a broken applicator stick or pinpricks. Lightly scratch the anus on both sides. Watch for reflex contraction of the external anal sphincter. Detection of the reflex contraction is facilitated by the placing a gloved finger in the anus during the testing. Loss of the anal reflex suggests a lesion in the S2, S3 and S4 reflex arc seen in Cauda equina lesions.